The best of Money Matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeeong. The gaming industry is on the edge of a major transformation, with over 3 billion gamers and millions of streamers, fueling a market expected to hit $625 billion by 2030. There's growing demand for faster, more accessible ways to create games. But what if building a game didn't require all that? What if a solo creator or streamer could generate stunning visuals, animations, and mechanics in real time with just a few prompts and share them instantly with their audience? Ambitionz, led by CEO Pavel Bains, is addressing these barriers with an AI platform that enables streamers and aspiring developers to generate high-quality, game-ready assets instantly. The platform supports real-time co-creation during live streams and gives creators the tools to build and launch their own games without needing a large studio or budget. It also introduces new ways to earn, shifting monetization from ads to user-generated content and direct community support. So joining us today to share more is Pavel Bains, who's the CEO of Ambitionz. Hi, Pavel. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, Pavel, just to start off our conversation here, what was the spark behind Ambitionz? I mean, was there a specific moment that pushed Ambitionz to build a platform that challenges the way games are developed?
There's two things that actually did it. One was I'm a shareholder in a different video game company that was doing mobile games. And one of the things that you realize when you're making games is very hard. It's a hit-driven business like Hollywood, like the music industry. So when you make a game and it's successful and people are playing it, what happens is you get a hungry audience that wants more content. So that could be, more maps, more levels, more characters. That all takes time to make. Now, in that time, players might get bored. So we kind of figured out that AI could reduce that development time. So now instead of taking a new map or level taking a month, maybe it only takes a week. Characters that take, a couple weeks to define, devise, and create, you can get done in a day or faster. So that kind of sparked it right there.
Okay. I mean, the global gaming market is exploding, but you said that the majority of gamers and streamers are still on the sidelines. So what's holding them back at the moment, and how does Ambitionz address that barrier?
Well, if we look at, when I started playing games, all you did was playing games. The only people who made money were the people who made the games and published and sold them. Then esports came along, which is good. People started to actually make money from competing and winning prizes. The prize pool has gotten bigger over the last 15 years, but still it's a very small segment. It's like professional sports. Then with Twitch about 10 years ago, people discovered that I can stream and play games, review them, build an audience, and they made money through advertising, things like that, or tips and subscriptions. So there was only limited ways that people can actually monetize. Now, what you're seeing is UGC. UGC is user-generated content. Mm-hmm. A great example is Roblox. I've got 3 kids. They've been playing Roblox since they were 6 years old. Fortnite, people are creating their own. These games are becoming platforms.
Right.
So user-generated content is the user can actually create stuff in there to play or potentially sell. Now that space is actually still dominated by small game studios and professionals who have tons of skill doing this. What we see is that let's say if I'm a streamer, right, and I've got 1 million followers and people are tuning in, I've built a community and they're into me and they like gaming and things like that. If I start shilling, energy drinks on, it's not authentic to gamers. And I can't do, let's say, clothing deals, things like that. What if I can actually create assets, game assets I can sell within Roblox to people already playing or creating mini levels or games? Wouldn't my followers like my t-shirts or my designs and then representing my community on there?
Right.
That seems much more plausible, but I don't have the skills to do it. So for us, the big change I see happening is user-generated content is going to push gaming to that $600 billion mark. More kids want to create and do those things. AI can give those tools to, let's say, that streamer. Now, he or she just has to focus on their community, their creativity, their skills, because the work is getting done back end. Now, how we see this going forward is that it's going to bring more people into monetization and you'll have more creators out there. And I think we can all agree that for the last 5 years, the creator economy is massively growing, but it's just been, let's say, in music, influencer type, TikTok videos. Gaming creator influencer economy hasn't really gone there because they didn't have the tools. If I'm a TikToker, there's tons of video editing tools I can makes quick stuff. Game streamers or game influencers don't have that. So game creators in that space, that's what we see, is that we're going to be empowering them.
Okay. I mean, Ambitionz promises 100% game-ready assets on the first try. So walk us through how the AI delivers that kind of precision and what makes it different from other tools in the market.
So how we discovered this was, as game developers, my team, they've had this experience. Gen AI tools are out there. You've got the generalists like ChatGPT, Claude, even let's say DeepSeek, everybody knows. And then you've got, the specialists that are just doing, let's say, 3D game assets or 3D assets or sound or voice. Now, if I'm a game developer and I want to test things out, there's about a 30 to 40% success rate each time I type something in. So I go into a service and type in, I want a 3D model, build me a cyberpunk warrior, a cyberpunk ninja in the art style of Dragon Ball Z. So it's probably a good 70% chance it's going to be way off. Mm-hmm. It might not be good at 3D assets. It might not be good at cartoon style. It might not be it. So let me go to another service. Let me go to another one. I might go to 10 different places to find that one, right? Now imagine you do that for multiple characters, sound, voice, effects, voiceovers, backgrounds, anything. There's tons of services. What ours done and our AI is intelligently able to do is get the right one asset that you're looking for, so you have a much higher chance. So if you're a developer or a creator, especially if you're a game streamer or a creator, you don't have time to test out all these things. Why not go to just Ambitionz and I'm going to get the result closest to what I want right away?
Well then, one of your most intriguing features is the ability for streamers to co-create visuals in real time with their audiences. So how does that work? And why do you think this kind of interactive storytelling is the future of game streaming?
Well, how it really came about was, let's just take to a parent with a child, right? Kids playing Roblox. And the dad sees this kid's playing on Roblox hours a day. He's looking at other platforms, wanting to buy skins. And the kid says, hey, Dad, can I be in there? Like, I'm buying all these ones. Dad doesn't know how to make game development or anything. But with us, he goes, sure, I'm going to turn you, Pixar style, into a superhero that you can run around with and do it in 10 minutes. That's kind of the aha moment that we see. So imagine if you're a game streamer and you can do all these new interactive things. You've got your audience, you're playing certain games, you're testing out things on Roblox, you built a mini game in Roblox. You go to your audience and you start saying, hey, who wants to let's create something on the fly. Let's build a level or let's build some characters. He or she is taking ideas from the audience and in real time is saying, let's make these. Or, hey, I'm going to give away 5 custom skins in my game right now. Who wants it? Let me see. And they can do it in real time, drop it, export it, and the person can start playing it. Right. So now you've got almost real-time game development and engagement with your users, and they're getting a real-time result. Instead of waiting, hey, here's the asset, a couple months later, I made this for you, they're doing it on the fly, and they can just even charge for that or give them away for bigger prizes and things like that.
Traditional game development is notoriously expensive and time-consuming. So how much time and cost are you actually saving creators then?
I would say character creation, what would take them 7 to 10 days after total approval. Outside of the creative part, they're getting fully animated characters. Once it's decided, they're getting fully animated characters and designs done within 10 minutes. So there you got that. The longest time that'll probably take them to do is for the design team to actually decide what they want. But what also they get with us is they can actually brainstorm 3D models right away and see what's close to what they want, test them out before they go to their final format. So it's a massive save. And like I said, if you're a prosumer, like that parent or a game streamer, you're doing things that would have took you a year of development skills just to gain the skills to make the stuff. And we're saying you don't need any of that. You can do it in 10 minutes.
Amazing. Then what does this mean for the kind of games we're going to see in the next few years?
I would say that you will get more niche-driven games. I think it will go very similar to music. There's a lot of musicians out there that might not be on the top 25 or 30 on Spotify because they don't want to give it to the record labels. They don't want, X amount of money just taken. They want to own the right. But a lot of musicians have built their own followings to a core audience. And it's like, well, if I can get, let's say, $1,000, off of 1,000 people that own everything is much more worth it than being mainstream and you're basically not making that much and you got full creative control. So that if you look at musicians, they have a niche audience, their niche group that go after. Now gamers can do that. I'll take let's say my wife, right? She likes to play Legend of Zelda. She's finished all the ones on the Wii and she's looking for a hit. Okay, what can I play next? So now she's searching online, finding that, hey, there's games that she's never heard of that are very much like that. So she can find one, pay that developer, that indie studio, but she'll still pay money for it. And that game is hitting her thing. So now what you can see is more niche games that are stylized to certain things can pop up. So you can have small studios, mini developers, all being able to make certain games that fit certain niches and be able to monetize that.
Right. So, I mean, let's talk about revenue models as well. I mean, you're shifting creators away from relying on ads or subs toward UGC marketplaces and direct to fan economies. So what does that business model look like in action?
To me, our goal as Ambitionz is empowering the next generation of gaming entrepreneurs. And what we mean by that is 5 years ago, when everything was locked down, people all want to be e-commerce entrepreneurs and sell things online. And Shopify was there to do it. And they did it very well. And to this day, they gave all the tools to these entrepreneurs. So all they had to do was think about their creativity, because everything in the back end of running an e-commerce company is almost handled by Shopify. Our goal is gaming entrepreneurs, people who can just create, build their own gaming empires. So I was a gamer, then I became an esports athlete. Then I started streaming, made that. Then I started creating my own games, maps, skins to sell to my audience. Eventually, where gaming will go, Ambitionz will empower people to create an entire game worlds. So the way I see it is that you're going to have all these new monetization ways of game creators. And we're living in a world where people are worried about, job replacement, job security, especially the youth. Let's say, anybody under 22, entering university, getting out of university and under, having more outlets for them to become entrepreneurs, I think is absolutely critical, because any degree they come out with, they're going to come out there trying to get a junior level job. All those junior level jobs, from comp sci to legal to accounting to design and marketing, is going to be done by AI. So the only way to build up their skills to get those higher paying jobs is probably to do entrepreneurial type of things that level them up. And we want to play that role.
Right. I mean, then can you share an example of a creator who's gone from streamer to game developer using Ambitionz? I mean, what kind of traction have they seen?
So far, we are still early. We're in private beta. We are looking to launch the new version and get it ready for public beta by end of September, early October. That's our target. But from the streamers that we have brought on and tested, they say it's a game changer for them. And mainly because they said, I've always wanted to create games. I'm involved in it. I just didn't know how. Now I've got a tool here that can do it. You've got some artists who are they work on print art or flat art, 2D, digital, and now they can create 3D assets in a way that they never could. So it just opens up their creative opportunities. So far, all the tests they're liking what they're seeing. The feedback we're getting, even from game studios, is things around, really specific things about collaboration, editing tools, which are all getting built in at the same time.
Right. I mean, this isn't just about tools, but also a shift in power, I think. I mean, are we witnessing the rise of a new kind of gaming entrepreneur? How do you see this affecting big studios?
Big studios, they'll always play a role. Like they'll be there. You still have music labels that exist at the large ones, but how much influence and power they have, much less. Sometimes game developers or creators who work at these studios want to do their own thing. They do know better, but just like any publicly traded company, I don't fault them, right? They come down and say, well, it has to be this way or that way. So you are going to get way more creatives out there building. It'll be, each thing can find sub-niches and subcultures to tap into. And I think that's going to be the way of the future, is people shying away from all the homogenized content that everything has gone to, whether it's music, movies, video games, and going to, these niches and subcultures. And I think there's a lot of money to be made in those.
Right. Then what do you think the average game will look like in 2030? Who's building it? Who owns it? And how will it be monetized?
It's going to be, I would say, instead of having, like you said, games cost a lot, take a lot of time, and now some of these big ones have hundreds of people. You're going to see game studios that will probably build games such as like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto level games, probably with 10 to 20 people. So much less, because it costs less. Probably the game costs, even if they stay the same in that $50 to $60 range, you're going to profit more off of it, and you're not going to have to need an enormous amount of sales to do it. So I think you'll have the pop-up of many small type of studios. Fortunately, I grew up as a kid in the 90s and saw a lot of music labels out there. And I compare the next 5 years of gaming to that. So, for example, music, then you had the genres, and then you had the subgenres within those genres. So, for example, let's take rock music. You had Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi, Red Hot Chili Peppers, No Doubt. All of those are, let's say, categorized rock, but they also are subgenres within rock in itself. And they were all mainstream and top 40 and reaching a different audience. If you look at rock music now, they're all pretty much the same. There's no subgenre that exist. So the way I see it is that you're going to have like basically a gaming renaissance over the next 10 years, where it's already bigger than Hollywood and movies. It's going to get bigger, and you're going to have a new creative renaissance that comes. And it's mainly because you're empowering more creatives.
Wow, a gaming renaissance. Looking forward to it. Well, speaking of looking ahead here, before we let you go here, Pavel, what's next for Ambitionz, not just as a business, but as a movement in gaming?
Right now, our core focus is really in the next month and a half is put this our private beta, get it to public beta, and start building up really the community, people who believe in this ethos. I bring up music a lot. The reason is that a lot of the company culture and core ethos that we've created since we started was around indie music culture, indie music record labels. The name Ambitionz itself is taken from a Tupac song.
Oh,
that's how it came about. So really big into that 1990s record label era indie studios. So around that, you built communities. So I would say on that side, it's to get that community really built up, specifically in Southeast Asia. I'd love to have pockets within Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, young creatives getting together and, hosting events, hackathons, or whichever, and saying, hey, come use our tools, make some games, let's get some prizes, and create like a culture around this gaming creatives, gaming entrepreneurs, and usher that gaming renaissance. So that's kind of our 3-month plan, is kicking all that off.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. Well, thank you so much, Pavel, for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me. Really good questions. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you. That was Pavel Bains, CEO of Ambitionz. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.